If this video has found you here today, then that means that it has been brought into your awareness because there is something here that you are supposed to be learning. And I am today talking about how to become a conscious man in an unconscious world, because this is something that I've struggled with a lot in my past, and I see so many people that are trying to do something with their life that is actually not at all what it is that they would want to do, or has nothing to do with who they truly are, beyond all of these ideas about what it means to be a masculine man, for example. It has nothing to do with what you're actually searching for in this moment. Because any search that a human does is because there is a little disconnect from who it is that you are. So if you're searching for something in this moment through perhaps trying to prove yourself that you're good enough by finding a girlfriend and having that relationship convince you that you're good enough, or if you want to create wealth, or if you want to be successful, in a lot of cases, these things is not where you should begin. These things are all results of something that came before that. If this video found you here today, then that means that there is a new journey that is opening itself up to you that perhaps you were unaware of did even exist before. Because for a long time of my life, I was unaware of the fact that through the things that I was doing, you could see it as two ends of the same spectrum. So as I was growing up, I was around 17 to 23 years old when I was struggling a lot with self-improvement, for example. And before that, I was also just a very lazy person. I was just sitting, procrastinating. I was playing video games all day. I was smoking, drinking just Coca-Cola, had terrible habits, smoking weed and drinking alcohol and shit. And the reason why that happened to begin with was because I had been conditioned by an unconscious society and an unconscious family to reject and suppress parts of who it is that I really was. And so any of these addictions that we have from a younger age, or like the need to procrastinate, or an overthinking mind, or being lost in thoughts of being lost in depression, all of that is very unnatural and comes as a result of rejecting who it is that we are. And the little tricky thing here is understanding exactly how this happened, because it goes on beyond your awareness. You're not really aware of all of those times in your past where you decided to start living your life a little bit more through a mechanism of the mind instead of the authenticity of who it is that you are. And this is for the simple reason that the human mind is a survival mechanism that is always trying to keep you safe, and we need validation, we need acceptance, we need love and belonging as we are growing up. So every single time that is jeopardized by us being authentically as open, confident, and in the core being of who it is that we really are, a lot of the times as we're growing up, that becomes challenged. And we say, or we don't necessarily say, but we just react to that by starting to push parts of who it is that we authentically are to the side, and start adopting a little bit of a program through the mind instead, because it is taking your awareness away from the pain of the realizations that you're having as you're growing up, that I can't be who I am, and that's very painful to have to suppress this energy. So I need to start condition my personality in a way that slowly and gradually just gets worse and worse and worse. More habits, more negative addictions, more just issues and challenges arising into your life in the form of relationship problems, and you can't perhaps be just confident in yourself. You're shy, insecure. All of it comes from this energy that we have suppressed internally within ourselves. It is all a reflection of what is first happening inside of us. We're not aware of the fact that this energy is inside of us at this moment, though, because you go numb and unaware to it, as the mind is doing its job by disconnecting you from the body and its emotions, by making you a person that is living more through overthinking patterns, more through different types of attitudes and reactions and behaviors, as to always continue this process of being in a suppressed state. And I just mentioned to you that when I was around 17 to 23 years old, I was very much into self-improvement, which was only on the other side of the spectrum, because I felt a lot of pain internally, unaware to me at the time, when I was always procrastinating. I had these addictions. I was super hard on myself, and then all of a sudden I just threw all of those addictions out and instead started getting hard on myself, trying to improve myself, trying to better myself all the time, which didn't really give me that good results, because the energy was still here. The energy is still here. You cannot run from this energy. And this is a huge problem that we have in society today, because men specifically are asked to ignore their emotions and to not be with their emotions. Any mental health issue that you have is as an origin of repressed emotions. The mind and thoughts comes as a natural protection mechanism to take you away from the painful realizations that you have about yourself, that you're not, at least you believe, not allowed to be in the presence of a lot of the emotions that you have within the range of your capacity inside of yourself. Every single negative thing that you do as a human is because you have fallen into a loop or a pattern of the brain as to be in rejection to something internally within yourself, because those things are not natural. When you are fully connected, wholly and completely to your energy, which happens through conscious awareness, you can become a conscious person and no longer sit in procrastination and bad addictions, or be a person that is always trying to improve yourself and change yourself, to drop all of that and learn to be a whole and complete person instead. The scary part about starting this journey of becoming a conscious person is first this little misunderstanding that if I am with my emotions, that means that I'm weak. No. If you are living in reactivity to your emotions, that means that you are weak. You are supposed to experience your emotions deeply and not allow those lower emotions to turn you into someone that judges other people, that is an angry and frustrated person, that is mean, or that is, a lot of these different things that can negatively start existing within our personality only as a result of living in reactivity to our emotions. A lot of people think that if I go out and I create massive amounts of wealth and I have a lot of options when it comes to girls or whatever it is, that this means that I have value and this means that I am allowed to feel good about myself. This is how you create confidence. And that is not the truth at all, because you are naturally, without having to fucking try, amazingly confident. It is when you stop the reaction to it. For example, I would move a lot back and forth between being a productive person, improving myself, and then immediately back to having thoughts about how shitty I am or that I'm not doing well, which was just the same matrix, whether I was improving myself or if I was not doing anything and just procrastinating and not doing anything with my life, basically hiding myself, that I was still a victim on both ends of that spectrum to this energy. I was living in reactivity, feeling that I was not good enough as I am, having the thoughts of inadequacy, or trying to improve myself so that my ego could grow to such a point that I tried to convince myself that I'm good enough. This is where the third or the second option to live your life comes in, which this video is about. Coming into acceptance over who it is that you actually are. You'll realize that growing, improvement within your being happens naturally. You always grow, you always get taken to the next level of fucking life and of your being when you're connected to your energy. You, however, can pause and stop your growth if you're always rejecting that energy, because then you're living through the mind, suppressing your energy and just trying to create some program here where you're living your life through that is meant to try and convince yourself that you are better than all of these beliefs that you have about yourself, that you're not good enough, that you're not lovable, that you're not enough as you are, which each and every single individual pretty much have in this society, because we're all conditioned by the same unconscious things that came before us. When you start allowing your emotions to resurface internally within yourself again, without being in reactivity to it, but being in allowance of it, you start owning yourself, you start owning your shadow, you start owning all of these dark things that you suppressed about yourself. And when I say dark things, it's not really dark things, it's just energy that you attach some dark story to. It just wants to flow through you. There's a reason why we get agitated when we stop using our phone. There's a reason why we're bored. Those are unnatural states happening because we are at all times trying to escape our own energy, because your natural state is just that of fucking ecstasy, of feeling joy, love and fulfillment, and you don't want to escape this moment. You just want to sit there and just enjoy the shit out of life because you feel so fucking good. That is your natural state. You don't need to improve anything. You don't need to think about anything because everything is just so pleasant in this moment. Thoughts are just taking you away from this moment and everything that can be good here. If you learn to move into the energy instead of continuing to being just a puppet, attached to your ego, believing that the ego is me, believing that all of these personality traits are me. If you stop that and recognize that you are the awareness of the ego, and that the ego is not supposed to be the master, but supposed to be a servant of your awareness of the universe, God, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be a beautiful addition, not the thing that is running your life, because that is when you are unconscious. There's a lot of people out there that have millions of dollars, that have everything that could ever wish for, but that are at every single moment afraid deeply, still, because all of those things came as a reactivity and suppression of who it is that they are, trying to prove something. When reality is that you don't have to prove fucking shit, because you are inherently worthy, exactly as you are. Something that you realize more and more and more and more, the more that you dare to move into your own energy without judging yourself for it anymore. Because you never wanted to judge yourself for it. The only reason that we judge ourselves for experiencing this is because there was our environment that made us believe something. You, my friend, are meant to be who you are. And when I say you are meant to be who you are, that procrastination pattern, those overthinking thoughts, is not who you are. You are not all of these negative things that you have going on within your life right now. Those were only ever adaptations as a result of you not being who it is that you actually are. That's not who you are. When you move through the energy of the shame, the fear, inadequacy, guilt, and so on, that is at the core of any conditioned program that we have as humans. When you move through it, which can only be done by slowing down a little bit and allowing yourself to be exactly as you are without there being a single fucking reason to your existence anymore, you'll tap more and more and more back into the integration of everything that you suppressed. You'll find that your natural born confidence starts to grow again, because your confidence at that point comes from the source of who it is that you are, which is just pure love. You have a confident personality because of self-love. You have a confident personality because you see your inherent worth. There's nothing to fucking prove. You are so free to just be who you are. And there's nothing that can stop you. And you never have to prove anything. And this is not to say that you shouldn't do something with your life either. You'll realize that when you connect deeply to who it is that you are, to your heart, that there's a million different things that you want to do through the excitement of those things. You'll notice that you'll get really good at doing certain things also, because as you are doing something, you get better at it. But that's not the point of it. The point is that you do it because you love it. You respect yourself enough to pursue it and go for it. And you're doing things because that's who you are, not because it is who you think that you should be. I should be this person because society says that this is good. I should be this person because otherwise I'm not good enough. I should. There's right, there's wrong, there's no such thing, my friend. There's only you in this moment right now. And any person that is trying to tell you that this is right or this is wrong, is in the same trap that you have been, except that they're unaware of it. Because there is no right or wrong, there is only energy. And energy turns into action. Energy turns into behavior. Energy turns into whatever comes next. If something that comes next, a personality trait of people pleasing, or of procrastinating, or being hard on yourself, having tough thoughts, negative thoughts, then that only ever meant that the energy that preceded it was being suppressed. And that there's now time for you to move through it. Make sure to check out my community on Patreon, where I have my courses that teaches you everything that you need to know about connecting back to who it is that you are. And until my next video, my friends, thank you for watching, and I appreciate your support, and I love you guys, and bye bye.